My personal story is I am now 62. I have had lipedema since I was 15. I have 2 daughters, 3 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. My granddaughter is the reason I'm standing up here talking to you. She's 2.5 and I don't want her finding out she's got lipedema when she's 15 and there's no hope, no treatment, nothing. So I want to sort of bang some drums and I don't want it to pass down the generations of my family. I think I'm very lucky. I could have died when I was 23 and I've lived in some nice places and I've got a lovely family. But life has always been a struggle and I always knew I wasn't as well as I should be and that something was dragging me down. Sometimes I could barely get out of bed. My legs ached and I was always covered in bruises. You know, why me? Why these blue legs? Clothes never seemed to fit me the same as everyone else. Boots were a complete nightmare. In 1995, when I was 45, I found out I had lipedema. So it took me 30 years to work out what it was. I'd already discovered MLD, and I have to say that was thanks to the Daily Mail. So I think there are a few journalists out there doing a few good stories. I was lucky enough to have a therapist nearby who could do home visits, and she was one of the top ones working with Professor Mortimer. And I had bandaging and home visits as and when I could afford it. It was not cheap, but somehow I just knew I had no option. I must have had about 20 or 30 sessions, always in my own home, and I actually think that is very, very beneficial to have it at home, not travel, not be sitting in waiting rooms, etc. I would waddle around my house full of teenagers with my lower half looking like an Egyptian mummy and always in a long flowing black skirt, you know. Being teenagers, they barely noticed, so I didn't make much of an impact. Then a miracle happened. One morning I unwrapped the bandages and there they were. I touched, I gasped. I was really thrilled. I could actually see and feel my ankle bones. You know, that was like, there is something there underneath all this fat. Since then, I found lots of things that have helped me personally. I keep to a very, very careful diet. I avoid a lot of common foods. I don't walk very far in heat. I put my legs up high at every possible opportunity, sometimes in very public places. I cycle, and whenever possible, I walk in cold water, and I swim, and I swim, and I swim. So that's me, you know, that's what helped me, you know. But none of these things have been suggested by the NHS, and none of them have been paid for or provided on the NHS. It has been up to me to find that they work for me. I think one of the problems is we've all been on our own. We've all been shy, we've all been hidden away. And that is the real issue. Nobody knows how many people are out there. And that's what we want to try and change. Statistics do actually count in the medical profession. So that's when I come onto the survey, hopefully I'm just a person who's got up and done something, you know, I'm just another person who's trying. One day when I was swimming, I hit upon the idea of an internet questionnaire. I decided to go and see Professor Mortimer and the wonderful LSN. I went to see them on the 30th of April this year. I met with Anita Wallace and Karen, who's here today. They were charming and they were encouraging. They both liked the idea, and the LSN said they would back the questionnaire if I went off and did the work. This keeps coming back, folks. It's up to us. Really is up to us. Lipedema UK's big survey. I hope everybody has heard of it in the room. Lipedema ladies did a nice plug for us, and I know a lot of you have done it. All the comments will be read, as together they make a really moving and powerful case. The more people say things, the better our case, and it is humbling to find out how torturous some people's experiences have been. People have all been very positive. You know, as somebody wrote, it feels good to be able to write down the ups and downs of living with lipedema. People are complimenting lipedema ladies. There's lots of information there. You have got the opportunity in the survey to have your say and bring up anything you think about, because we are going to St George's with this. I had the most wonderful comment in the meeting from Sandy Ellis. She said, I think this will end up in the House of Commons. That is probably, I hardly dare repeat it because it's too big an aspiration, but who knows? Yes, we suspect there are a mass of people out there. We want to reach them, and we just want some good statistics, because if you know medical people, they need statistics to start listening. So, thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you very much.